Metro Police investigating as a man was found shot to death in the street in the Northeast Valley.
Metro Police are looking for a suspect in a homicide after witnesses say two people got into an argument.
Metro Police officers are looking for a suspect after a man was killed near Hollywood and Cary.
The Homeowners Association president sent us this photo of the November fire.
What started the fire was a tweak pipe, and then I didn't give it back to someone that wanted it back. She set it on fire.
She set the building on fire because you wouldn't give the pipe back.
Yes. Oh, you're not gonna give back my pipe? All right. Well, take this. 20 seconds later, the whole building was up in flames.
We're going to be talking about the top 5 reasons why you should leave Las Vegas and why I left Las Vegas. I'm gonna break it down. And first of all, I don't want to throw any shade on Las Vegas. It was a great place for me for 15 years, but I'm gonna explain why I left. I was already planning on leaving. I didn't plan on moving to Kansas City. I actually was planning on moving to Naples, Florida, but we stopped in Kansas City. We loved it and we decided to stay. So let me break it down to you right now. Number 1, when I first got to Vegas, it was really affordable. Like, you could buy a house for $150,000 and it's just become completely unaffordable right now. Right now, a house in Vegas, the median costs you $420,000. Now, when I first moved there in like 2005, it was like $250,000. But then it crashed and it went down to like $120,000 from like 2010, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and 17. It was really affordable. For the last 5, 6, 7 years, and it just shot up like a rocket ship. It's more than $420,000 today for an average house. That's not a good house. 52% of the workforce in Las Vegas is casino employees, so it's now harder than ever for these people to buy a home. Oh, I can tell you this firsthand. Rent has skyrocketed, which is great if you bought an investment property in 2009, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, but if you're paying rent, it's skyrocketed. The average rent, and this blows my mind, for an average 2-bedroom in Las Vegas is $1,500. It was $800 when I first got there. And it's getting worse because everybody from California is leaving and headed to Vegas. All those people are taking their California dollars and driving up rents and prices of housing. Number 2, well, it's not called Sin City for nothing. Crime, prostitution, and illegal activities. In 2023 alone, violent crime rose by 6.3%. In fact, I know at least 2 people in the last year who were shot and killed on the streets, people that I knew personally. R.I.P. Jonay Dominguez, R.I.P. Christopher Brian Harris. There has been significant increases in armed robberies and home invasions, but let me make this clear. Before I moved from Washington State to Las Vegas, I didn't even hear about home invasions. They have been prevalent for a long time in Las Vegas. You're gonna see things like roulade shutters, massive gated communities. I didn't even hear of a gated community until I lived in Las Vegas. There is violent crime, even a lot of the things that the statistics do not talk about. There's a lot of violent crime. I know in my neighborhood, which is a great neighborhood, there were several people that had their home broken into. I know a friend of mine who had the same thing. Duct taped, tied up, put a gun to their head, and their property stolen. I have one property specifically on Rainbow that's been broken into like 6 times in the last 2 years. Specifically, in the last 6 months alone, it's been broken into twice, where the guys have shut down the power, kicked open the doors, and broken in. In fact, the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department actually know who the criminal enterprise is because they've hit like 50 other places in my area, but they can't keep up with it. There's a lot of organized crime, a lot of prostitution, and a lot of sex trade going on in Las Vegas. You've got more strip clubs probably than any place on the planet. You've got girls working in casinos from all sorts of places all around the country. You've got people coming in from California south of the border, and there's a disturbing trend of all that going on in Las Vegas. Thousands upon thousands upon thousands of women from other countries, other states, other cities are exploited on the strip and in the casinos every day. And if you're touring in Las Vegas and you're walking around one of the casinos and one of these girls winks at you, just know she might be from another country exploiting herself for your benefit. And listen, if you've been in Las Vegas and you've seen them, they're out there on the strip, they're handing out the pamphlet, girls direct your room, girls direct your room. I mean, it's been going on for a long time. The city puts up with it, it's everywhere. They've got people driving up and down the street. Go to the phone book, which doesn't exist anymore, go to Google, look up escort services. you're gonna find more than what you need in Las Vegas, which is exactly one of the reasons I left, because it's not the type of place that you wanna raise a family. Great for business, not for families. Listen, I'm not knocking strip clubs, but there's a lot of things that go on behind closed doors in those strip clubs, and there's a lot of drugs, a lot of activity, a lot of prostitution, and it's all happening in Las Vegas. But if you didn't remember the 2017 mass shooting out of the Mandalay Bay, where 58 people were gunned down and hundreds more wounded at the Jason Aldean concert. It was a tragic event. Number 3, and this is probably one of the top reasons that we left Las Vegas, is it's been rated the number 49th or 50th worst education place in the entire country. And they never, ever, ever do anything about it. They might pass a marijuana law and say, you know what, all this money is gonna go to education, and then they just give it to the casinos or they give it to special interests. They don't do anything for the kids. In 2023 alone, Nevada as a whole was ranked 48th out of 50 in the worst education in the United States. Only 84% of people in Las Vegas graduate. I don't even think it's that many. I know a lot of kids that they go in, they work in the casinos, maybe they work in the strip clubs. Their everyday life is different than what you and I see. They see violence, they see drunks, they see all these things, and many of them don't graduate high school. The national average is 89%, but I would actually guess that Las Vegas is a lot lower than that. And I'll tell you one thing, my cousin was a middle school gym teacher there for almost 20 years, and he would constantly complain that it's loaded with students. We put our kids in public education and private education there, and I will tell you, they went to Deerfield Elementary School, and there was like hundreds of language spoken there and nobody understood anything. They're overcrowded, the teachers are underpaid, and it's not a good place to take your kids to go to school. Number 4, well, this is another major reason for me. The harsh environment and the lack of community. Listen, nothing grows in Las Vegas, okay? Like, the only thing that grows there is casinos, because that's one of the things that I really missed out. Coming from Washington State, it was great for the first couple years in Las Vegas, and I had to convince myself that I really liked it, but I like to be outdoors, I like the environment, I like seeing the birds, I like seeing everything. I like seeing animals. I saw wild horses a couple times. I saw mountain goats a couple times, and I saw a tortoise a couple times. The environment itself, there's no water. It gets like under 3.5 or under 4 inches of rain per year. And because of that, nothing grows, everything dies, and it's hotter than hell. The landscape feels empty, like there's nothing growing. It's just a bunch of sagebrushes blowing down. I mean, you could drive all the way. I remember driving all the way from Seattle and then getting into Nevada and looking and driving straight down the I-95, and you're just looking at like barren land, barren land, barren land, barren land. I personally got allergies when I lived in Las Vegas. I remember thinking like, what was going on? It was probably 6 or 7 years ago, and I started sneezing for no good reason. And the minute I moved out of Las Vegas, my allergies went away because they were from dust and from all the wind. You get a ton of wind that's kicking up all this dust that gets over all of your stuff, and it's in a valley. And so there's nothing to stop that wind, and it will cause you to get allergies. I know many, many people just like myself who got allergies just because they live in Las Vegas. And the culture, everybody's from somewhere else, and it's a transient population. People come and people go. There's not a lot of people that have been there for generation after generation after generation. So there's really no sense of community. The streets are filled with drunk drivers, loud music, drugs, and a party atmosphere. And I'll tell you this, if you are living in Las Vegas, you will not be able to drive down the street without seeing a car accident, like a full-blown car accident. And you can just tell by driving around, looking at all the billboards all over the place for this personal injury, that personal injury attorney. There is literally accidents everywhere, on every corner, every day. I don't see that in Kansas City. I've been here. Like in Las Vegas, you see it every day. There's a car accident, there's a car accident, there's a car accident, there's a car accident. So it's everywhere. And usually a lot of that is because of drunk driving, text driving, whatever you want to call it. But it's insane. Number 5, it's something difficult to talk about, but it's got a high suicide rate and mental struggles. There's about 18.5 suicides per 100,000 residents in Las Vegas. For a city known for its entertainment, the dark side of Las Vegas is something that the tourists and everybody else never sees, but I can tell you, as somebody who lived there for 15 years, it's prevalent. And listen, when you're living in a city where there's gambling, there's drinking, there's booze, there's everything that you want, and there's no sense of community, it's easy to get lost in that for a lot of people. And because you got no sense of community, it's just not easy to survive in that type of a city. Now, I thrived in Las Vegas, and I love Las Vegas. Vegas. It was a great part of my career, and I've got a lot of great friends who live in Las Vegas and still do to this day. Vegas has got a lot of churches. There's actually more churches per capita than everywhere else, because if you count the wedding chapels, it actually ranks really high. All of these reasons is the reason why I left Las Vegas. And I can tell you, moving to the Midwest for my family, for myself, was not only a great business move, but a great family move. And if you're living in Las Vegas, I would strongly suggest, why are you still living there? It's a great place for a short period of your life. But if you're looking to raise a family, looking to build a sense of community, it just doesn't offer that. And I know I have a lot of good friends, and it hurts me to actually even say this, but I'm not probably going back. So I consider life to be a journey, not a destination. And I don't think Las Vegas is anybody's final destination, but it may be if you like to drink, gamble, party, and do drugs and have no sense of community. Let me know what you think in the comments. I'll check you on the other side. Make sure you subscribe to this video, and we'll talk to you soon. Peace.